Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Research Flow. Today we have Hanna Beck with us. She's from New Mexico and she is currently a PhD student at Louisiana State University. Welcome, Hanna.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm glad that it's Friday.
It's finally
Yeah,
Friday,
dude, for real.
and it's freezing for us.
It's
right?
really cold. Yeah, we're wearing, sweaters and layers.
Yeah,
and stuff,
I was gonna
and-
wear this like obnoxiously big scarf, but then I was like, man, you might not be able to see my face. So.
But I really like that you guys are kind of matching,
Oh,
like
yeah, brown.
Yeah,
Also matches my nails.
Those
I
are
didn't get the
colors.
memo though.
I'm also wearing black.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got my nails done too.
Nice.
Look
What
at
do you
us.
think? Let me
That's
see
okay.
yours.
Sorry.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
natural.
I still like them.
I don't paint my nails very often.
It's okay. This is the only. My roommate had a gift card, so.
Oh, cool.
Good. Where do you go?
I literally don't know the name. It's the nail place near the boba place, the Teetery boba place. Do
Mm,
you know
Oh,
where
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
at?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember
Yeah,
which street it's
On college.
Yes, on
Yeah,
college.
there
yeah.
we go.
So that was fun.
okay. That was like a girls' date. Is that a thing?
I guess so. Yeah.
Friends date?
Friends date. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Roomie
Roomie
outing.
date. Okay. Okay. So where are you exactly from in New Mexico?
I'm from Los Alamos, which is a teeny tiny town up in the mountains. So we've got mountains, we've got desert. Not a whole lot of water where I'm from.
So it doesn't snow, even though it's in the mountains.
It does snow. Yes, we have a ski hill and
Okay.
everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm. That's like most of our precipitation for the entire year.
Just snow.
It's just snow in the winter.
That's funny. Okay.
Yep. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty good.
you got your bachelor's degree there?
I got my bachelor's degree in Texas,
Oh, in Texas. Which university in Texas?
Baylor University. Yep.
Okay. How different is New Mexico from Texas?
It's pretty different. um, New Mexico has a pretty strong Hispanic culture. And so it feels, I don't know, that's what feels authentic to me.
Okay.
And also Los Alamos has a lot of international families, and we're like really small and isolated. So, I got to know like 100 people really well.
That's
No, yeah,
really good.
that is really cool.
But Texas is enormous, and the people are loud and friendly and loud. And the food is big, and the cows are big. And the pigs are
Everything is
big.
bigger in
bigger in
Texas.
They say that
Yeah.
they're not joking.
They're not
Like,
They're
that's
not
for real.
joking,
Everything
yeah.
is bigger in Texas.
That's awesome.
And it was definitely drier in Texas than it is here in Louisiana. But it was still like a lush jungle compared to New Mexico.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, these trees, they turn colors in the fall. There's actual water on top of the ground.
Do they really change color in Texas?
More than I guess
More
the
than
desert.
Definitely. I guess I'm comparing to Illinois or Pennsylvania that you
Yeah.
actually see the different colors
Yeah.
Yeah.
through every season. But okay, so if you have to tell me something very specific or different from New Mexico, Texas, and Louisiana, what will that be?
The
Yeah.
food.
Really?
Yes. All three cultures claim to have really spicy food. But so I've been excited to like go to each one and try their food, right? But it's been just a very different kind of spicy. So you can't go to Texas expecting New Mexican spicy food. They don't use chili the same way. You can't come to Louisiana expecting Texas spicy because Texas uses jalapenos instead of chili peppers, and
Oh man.
Louisiana uses Tabasco. It's all. It's been a really huge adventure,
Yeah.
just like lining these all up next to each other.
Yeah.
Especially like if I get a craving for one kind of food, I can't find it anywhere, and I have to like. I've had to learn to make it myself a lot of times. Texas food and New Mexico food here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But if I go visit Texas and I want some Louisiana food, I don't know. It's all different.
Yeah, I never thought about the different types of spicy. That's a good, like, you get it from different things.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
good,
There's like
digestion.
yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't want to say like cool spicy and warm spicy, but like I don't know, like Cajun spicy feels kind of like you feel it right
Warm
here.
spicy, right?
And then like Texas spicy, you feel it like here. and then New Mexico spicy, you feel it like here.
What?
I don't know if that makes any sense
the
at all.
heck? I love that. No, it's like,
No.
yeah, because I feel like jalapenos are cold spicy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a Tabasco sauce, that's warm spicy.
I don't like spicy. I don't like spicy food, so it's very yeah. Like when people ask me, "Do you like spicy food?" and I say no, and they're like, "Oh, but you're from Latin America." Like, I'm from Honduras. We don't do spicy food.
Yeah.
And actually, if you go to a Honduran restaurant and they give you hot sauce, it's not spicy. It's more like vinegar.
Mm.
It had like a vinegar taste. I don't know.
They give you tang
More
sauce.
than like a
Yeah.
spicy.
No, it's not
Yeah.
definitely not spicy. I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
No.
In Spain, they don't. People in Europe don't use spices that often.
No.
I think the most like Spaniards use is saffron, and so Spain gets mixed in the Hispanic culture, and it's just like no. This is European people. They don't.
Yeah.
We eat like eggs and potatoes. You know what I mean? So
What is your family?
My family's from Missouri. So that's
Love Missouri.
Yep, it's just your like I don't know, pretty classic American Midwestern. Yeah, meat and potatoes,
That's awesome.
farming, fishing.
That's why we get
kinda.
along. We're both
Yeah,
Midwestern.
how do you meet?
We met through the Environmentors program, which we'll definitely get into because it's awesome.
Excited. Yes. Okay.
So do you want to explain the Environmentors program? So first of all, you're the coordinator of the Environmentors program this year, right?
Correct.
And you were last year.
Also
as
correct.
Well. Do you want to explain to ye old people? So that's your camera also.
All right.
Do you want to explain to the people that like what kind of Environmentors is and what it does?
Okay, we are kind of an after-school education program. We partner up with local high schools. So currently we're partnered with Scotlandville and McKinley High School, if you're a local and that means anything to you. We like do science and education activities with our students, and then partner them up with graduate students or undergrads with research experience from LSU to work on a research project of their choosing and their design over the course of the academic year. And then whenever they're done, they can present their research as a poster at like LSU's undergraduate research presentation day.
Yes. There's a lot that goes into that,
There's
right?
a lot that goes into that.
It's easy whenever you say it like that.
Is this part of your program?
No,
Is this like a volunteer?
kind of. It started as a volunteer thing, so I started volunteering as a mentor, and so did Issa.
Yes.
That's how we became friends.
Yeah.
Then last year, they needed a new coordinator, so yeah, I said, yeah, I'll be your coordinator, but only if it's for 2 years, not for just one, because I didn't want to, I don't know, get used to it and graduate, right? I want to get used to it and then actually do the work,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's good.
so this is my assistantship, but it's through Sea Grant. It's not through my department or anything.
Okay.
It's all very complicated, I think now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Things like that happen. Like programs change.
Yeah.
Like who's running the program, who's invested in the program, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
that's roots. Like what's the most like influential thing about the program?
Yeah.
Like what's the
I would say the thing that I always notice the most, the thing that's always most impactful to me, is like comparing the beginning and the end of the year, the sort of like the confidence in the mentorship relationships. So this program is awesome because it's like multi-tiered. You know, we have high schoolers, graduate students, but then like mentoring the graduate students are the coordinators, and then you know, the directors who are, you know, at the department level. They don't interact directly with the students, and so it's like this awesome trickle down effect. We start the year off like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know these people, and you know, the students don't know much about science. They're not excited, or you know, they're not confident in their communication skills. And same with our mentors. They start like, you know, pretty shy. It's been a while since I've interacted with high schoolers. I don't know if I know enough science to actually mentor somebody about science. I love how by the end of the year, you know, our students, they're ready to answer questions from anybody who walks up to their poster. Our mentors are right there giving them exactly the support that they need because they like, you know, they've learned to communicate together, and I love like being there to support the mentors in that way. Also, it's so fun, this like multi-layer kind of mentorship.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did you get any training in how to be a mentor?
No. We are changing
You're
that.
brave.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We're changing that in the program right now. Like this year, we're trying to incorporate some like mentorship training, mentor support, like extra meetings or activities or whatever, lessons.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was a mentor and then my first year as coordinator,
I remember, not being very, because it was my first year and I didn't know how to even make an experiment run that like a high schooler could understand, right? So yeah, I'm glad they're doing that. That's really cool though.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's helping a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm learning too.
How many volunteers do you have?
10, 11, 12. There are a couple who are like in limbo right now, like to see how you know, the semester ends up treating them, that kind of thing. So yeah, 10 to 12.
Nice.
And what do you think is the most important for you as a mentor to teach to your mentees?
Be brave, but also like, you don't have to be scared. Exactly what you said. Like, it's okay to jump into something that you don't know how to do. It's scary, but there's a first time for everything. Everybody was a beginner at something. Everybody was a beginner at everything at some point, and just give it a shot.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, you work. Other than that, that's amazing. That's really cool. That's only like part of your story, right?
Yeah, that's like it's like a third of it, maybe.
That's pretty good. So the other 2/3 probably has to do somewhat with research. I know that you work with eutrophication of Louisiana's oceans from excess nutrients.
That is what eutrophication is.
Yes. What?
Eutrophication.
Eutrophication. What is that?
My biology friends, I will help you out.
Please do.
I know like the general outline. I do not know what it is.
I understood ocean.
Excellent. That is a great place to start. There's a whole lot of water. And eutrophication is what we call it when there is like so much nutrients in the water. Like so much nutrients that extra stuff starts growing. More like enough stuff that it like throws the ecosystem out of balance. So eutrophication is a sort of like regularly occurring event off the coast of Louisiana because the Mississippi River carries a whole lot of nutrients, and flow changes over the course of the year. So in the spring, it delivers this gigantic flux of nutrients, and that leads to a phytoplankton bloom in the like early summer, which, if you know like your predator-prey curves, right, that leads to a zooplankton bloom pretty soon after. And all of these are made out of organic carbon. So, you know, the zooplankton, they poop organic carbon and they die. The phytoplankton, they are organic carbon and they die. And, welcome to ecology.
Love it.
And, you know, sink down to like the bottom water with like warm temperatures in like the summertime. So of course all this is happening in the summer. The water column stays pretty stratified, meaning it's like really divided. So we can have oxygen in the top layer of the ocean, where, you know, you can have photosynthesis, you can have, you know, mixing with the air and stuff like that. But the organic matter sinks down to the bottom, and the bottom gets organic matter, but not oxygen. So we have a lot of like extra respiration that happens, and that like whatever oxygen there was in the bottom water gets used up really quickly. And so that creates hypoxia, or anoxia, what we call like an area that doesn't have enough oxygen.
Right.
And then this like hypoxic zone stays in Louisiana's coastal bottom waters for a couple months every single year. And so my main research question is, are there any, I was about to say a really big science word, are there any biogeochemical feedback loops from the sediment. So are there any chemical processes, anything going on in the sediment that can be perpetuating bottom water hypoxia?
Okay.
This is also important for like shellfish and stuff because fisheries and things that live in the water need oxygen usually, especially the things that we eat. But also things that have shells need a certain pH range, and hypoxia and acidification are both run by the same drivers: eutrophication, stratification.
Okay.
So my research is about tying together this extra nutrients, lack of oxygen, increased acidification, and sediment, all in Louisiana's summers on the coast.
How did you get into this?
That is an excellent question.
It's a lot of chemistry.
Yes.
It's a lot of geography.
So let's just go back. What is?
Yep.
Do you have a master's degree?
Nope.
Interesting. So you
I
just
know.
okay.
Yep, I am the poster child for just give it a shot.
Yeah.
So when I was finishing up my undergrad, I had recently learned about wetlands, and I was like,
Nice.
that is unbelievably awesome. Like, first of all, there's water on top of the ground, and then it's just like sitting there.
Yeah.
And then there's plants that grow out of it, and like then it like can clean the water, and it can like create habitats and stuff like that. Like, man, so cool. Opened up my
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
Let the record show I am still a huge fan of wetlands. So I was thinking about applying to grad school, applying to master's degrees, and so I just kind of like browsed around the Gulf Coast because I knew there's wetlands around here and probably a lot of people researching them. There was. I applied to a professor in coastal sciences here at LSU who specializes in wetlands, and like she liked my application. We had a great phone interview, and I agreed to like come down for an in-person interview to see what was going on. And then somebody else from the coastal sciences department, my current advisor, said he cold emailed me and he said, "Hey, I see that you like chemistry. Like, I saw your application in the like department pool, and you like chemistry. I like chemistry. Have you ever considered oceanography?" And I said, "What's oceanography?"
Wow,
Is that allowed? Is that a stingy student? Kind of.
I have
I've
no
never
idea.
heard that before.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
awesome.
yeah.
That was kind of my response. I was like, "Is this okay?" But I said, "What's oceanography?" And he was like, "It's the study of the ocean." And I said, "Wow, that sounds big and scary."
Right. Yeah.
But I do
literally.
like chemistry. So I had a phone interview with him, and it went pretty well. And I agreed, like, whenever I would come down and visit the first professor, I would visit him also. And a couple weeks later, I met with both of them, came down here to LSU. It was the perfect time of year. The azaleas were blooming. So I was
nice.
like, "Oh my gosh, Baton Rouge is beautiful."
Do you still think the
nice.
same?
Baton Rouge it still has its own beauty, yes.
Yes, I agree.
However, I recognize that
nice.
the azaleas only bloom for 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. How did I get into this? I ended up choosing oceanography. It was honestly just like, I don't even remember very much about how I made that decision. It was a really, really small thing. Like, I feel like I would have been equally happy in both labs, honestly. Both
That's
professors are
nice,
great. I've
yeah.
gotten to work with both of them for different classes and stuff. But yeah, so I started here as a wetlands master's student, became an oceanographer pretty quickly, had no idea what I was doing to start. And then a couple months into my degree, my advisor called me into his office and he said, "So your project's like really big. You've got like a lot going on." And I said, "Do I? Okay, I don't know." Because I've never done this before. I don't know what's a normal amount of work for a master's student or not.
Exactly.
And he said, I found a scholarship that you qualify for. How would you feel about doing a PhD instead?" Okay. So here we are.
That's awesome. Heck yeah.
Yep. All of this happened pretty much by accident.
That's really cool though. Like, I am probably in the same boat, to be honest. I didn't want to do plant genetics, and then I ended up doing it just because I really liked my advisor. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for me, I knew that I wanted to work with, I don't know. Okay, so I have a master's degree in biochemistry and biotechnology.
Cool.
But then I focused in renewable energies during my master's degree, and I was working with this fungi called Trameris versicolor in biofuel production. And then I was like, do I really want to do this? And then I was like, I want to go back to, you know, agriculture kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then I came to LSU and I did an internship during summer in the ag center. And then I was like, no, I want to keep working with fungi, but not from the agriculture perspective. I want to do more ecology.
Mhm.
So that's why I ended up in biology. So
Okay,
it's like I
nice.
was here and then here. And then, but I'm
So
happy
then-
what I'm doing.
Yeah, so all of our journeys are like that then. Like, we just
Yeah.
kind of ended up
Yeah.
where we're at.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah, one way or another. Yeah. So in which year are you in currently?
7.
Wait, what?
7.
7
Yes, this is
years.
normally a 5-year degree, and this is my 7th year. I slowed down for a couple years. I should be defending in another couple
That's
months.
okay.
It's okay. Like,
Yep.
amazing.
Wait,
like,
so you are defending in the next couple months?
Hopefully, I still haven't qualified for defense yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my article got rejected again yesterday.
Oh.
I'm
So
sorry.
no, that's okay.
For like do you have to have a publication?
Yeah, in order to qualify to even schedule my defense in my department, I have to have at least one article published and at
Right.
least a second article accepted.
Oh,
and so
that
I'm-
is
Okay,
bizarre.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Just walk us or me through this. Okay, so you're a PhD student.
Mhm.
What is next? For example, in the bio department at LSU, because we are at LSU, Louisiana State University, we have the qualifying exam.
Mhm.
That's the first meeting that you have with your committee. You present your ideas, and then they kind of test you, right?
Yeah.
How your knowledge is, and then they suggest if you should take more classes or not. They approve. You pass. You pass
Yeah,
or not pass
yes,
this qualifying
yes,
exam, right?
exactly.
And then you do an entrance seminar. I think that a year later, or
Yeah, it's supposed to be a year.
it's supposed to be. And after that, in the third year, we need to do the general exam. And then is when we became a PhD candidate. And
Mhm.
after that, we have the
Yeah, all you have to do is defend.
defend. But do you know how many
We
articles
do need one publication, but I think you can defend without it. And then, like, if you just have the
submitted, maybe?
if you have it submitted, they'll probably give you a degree. I don't actually know. I know that you have to have one article published to graduate, but I don't think it'll stop you from defending.
But
You know
I
what
think
mean?
it's different from each
It
department.
is different,
So I'm just
yeah.
curious about how it is in your department.
We do not have qualifying exams. We don't have whatever that
Entrance.
entrance seminar, right? We
Yeah.
have general exams, which you take once you're done with all of your course credits.
Okay.
Sometime before then, you should have written a project proposal and put your
Okay.
I
committee
think
together
that's
for that.
like the
The
qualifying
general.
first.
I think the
Maybe.
project proposal is a general, right?
I have to submit a project proposal for my
Qualifying.
qualifying.
I don't have to. Do
I don't
that.
know. I guess it's different.
I just did. Yeah, I think it's
I
different for different people too, because the
Yeah.
people in my committee said, "Yeah, just put on a presentation. We'll tell you what we think." Right. But for the general, I will have to write a very thought through proposal.
Yeah.
That's basically just like a grant proposal
Mhm.
Yeah.
with like multiple pages and stuff. So. Okay, so all right, well then, that's fine. So how long is like the average person's time? Because that sounds like a lot of work
Yeah,
that you have to
that's a
do
lot of work.
for a PhD. Are PhDs usually longer?
PhDs
in the
are-
ECE?
No, they're usually about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, that's still a lot.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That seems
That's
normal
still
to me, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's still no. I'm a lot meaning like it's still like the
It's still a
amount that you're
commitment, that's for
expecting.
sure.
It's definitely a commitment.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you're expecting to graduate, let's say, fall 25 or spring 26, maybe?
Spring 25.
It's spring
Mhm.
25.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited?
I
Scared?
will be
How do you
once
feel right
I
now?
get an article accepted. I'll be very excited.
Yeah, that's hard. That's
Honestly,
very
right now I've got so much going on that I don't even have the time to just sit with my feelings all that much.
Yeah.
or like I've got so many wonderful, exciting things going on. I've got a mentorship program to
That's
buy
big.
food for. I've got friends to talk to for their podcast. I've got I've got to redo this one figure over and over and over again because figures are never perfect. And so like I don't have a whole lot of extra spoons for thinking about the big picture, I guess.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not just like the research you do. Like sometimes I've known people that get jobs about like, the one internship that they had one time where they mentored someone, and now they have a major mentorship role in this one company, right?
It's the weirdest things that turn into opportunities.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
yeah. So how is studying on a boat?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And awful and awesome. It's a really mixed experience. It goes kind of like this, which I guess is kind of what a boat does.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think it's really, really cool. It's super fun. It's really stressful packing everything up. Packing up your entire lab into a U-Haul. Like what if something jostles and then like one of the sensors breaks or whatever? Like that's like, oh my gosh, that's my entire project.
No, literally.
What if I forgot one specific bolt that doesn't whatever?
Yeah.
Do we have 5 extra rolls of electrical tape? Okay, we only have 4 extra rolls of electrical tape. That's not gonna work. Packing it up is insane, and then we have to like, load everything onto this tiny little. Load everything in. Should I stop talking?
Sometimes.
Okay, load everything into this tiny little room and try to, do research with, an entire lab in this one tiny little room while everything's moving up and down. And, but it's so cool though.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you don't get seasick like me, I would absolutely recommend it. If you do get seasick like me, I would half recommend it.
Yes, I can understand that.
Yes.
Have you done like field work outside the US?
I have.
Oh, where have you been?
Yes. I went to Sweden for a month.
Whoa.
Yep. That
Very
was
cool.
another kind of accident.
Accident. I love your kind of accident.
I do
I
too.
actually, when I have an accident, I actually ended up in the hospital. I ended up in Sweden. Okay. What about you, Isa?
What, have I gone to the field?
Outside the US?
I haven't gone to the field, plain period.
Not yet? Or is it not
No,
part of your
Not part of my
dissertation?
dissertation.
You're a lab worker.
Yeah, all my plants are grown in a little basement room, so I don't have to venture really out. But, I try to tag along. I tagged along to somebody's master's stuff in the Gulf, and that was really fun. I got to get my feet wet and my hands dirty, so that was fun. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get my roommate to let me go with her to Costa Rica to help her with her stuff.
Why don't
so
we
cool.
apply to this program?
What program?
Let me. Gosh, what is this called? I will send you the link.
If I could study plants in Costa Rica fully funded, I'm there. Don't even think that I would ever say no to an opportunity like that.
Yeah, that sounds really
Aaron
awesome.
went to this tropical biology summer. Yeah, Isa, we need to look at this.
Heck yeah.
I will send you the link.
That would be great.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
And you can do
that's
it in English
awesome.
or Spanish. Like Aaron went to this program, Justin
Yeah.
went to this program, Maggie went to this program. A lot of people from the list
Yeah.
have been there, and the bio department paid them half or something like that.
That
and with
is
them,
incredible.
you can still apply for a scholarship.
Yeah.
I would
That'd be
send you the
awesome.
link.
I've-
I'm going to apply.
Yeah,
That
I've
sounds
been
awesome.
to Costa Rica, but that was for like an undergrad course. Like we had like something that we were doing. We had like a mini project. I did palm demographics. Never
Cool.
got published. Probably isn't even accurate, but it was super fun. And if I could do that again, heck yeah, dude.
So what were you doing in Sweden? How do you get there?
Yeah.
Do you want the long story or the short story? I don't know how much time we have.
Up to you.
It's up to you.
To me.
Yeah. Give us the highlights.
The
Yes.
highlights. Okay. I think the Swedish language is very beautiful.
Okay.
The first ever department
What?
email I got from LSU, I know, right? The first ever department email I got from LSU had a footnote that was like, oh, by the way, this one organization has this one opportunity for international something. And I was like, yeah, I probably don't qualify for that even a little bit, but it'd be cool if they're going to Sweden. Let's see. And of course they have 3 locations and Sweden is one of them.
Wow.
Nice.
So very, very, very nervously.
Serendipitous.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
that's awesome.
I applied to it literally not knowing anything about my project, not knowing anything, like, first semester of grad school.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
I didn't, but I knew that I was doing, sediment water interface, nutrient flux, whatever in the Gulf. And so I was like, how about I try that in like a lake also?
Yeah, why not?
Because
Literally, why not?
right? And like, I was like, okay, this could make sense. Like, the like subarctic, really unimpacted freshwater glacial lakes are super different from this like subtropical, highly impacted coastal shelf system. I was like, I could compare and contrast the two systems. And
yeah, that's awesome.
yep, I got in, and they sent me to Sweden for a couple weeks.
That's so cool.
It was really awesome. Yeah.
Did you learn the language?
I wish. No, they housed me in a dorm of international students, so we just spoke
Oh.
English the whole time.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of French practice
Okay.
That's
with a
fun.
Canadian who got startled every time I spoke French to her. So,
Do you speak any other language fluently?
not fluently,
Or at
no.
least that you can survive?
Yeah, I can survive in French.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Have you been to France?
I have. Yeah, I did a study abroad to like work on learning French in undergrad. The
Heck
sun
yeah.
is in y'all's eyes. How about I like?
It's okay.
Okay.
I love
She's
letting
glowing.
You really are glowing.
Let the sun embrace my skin. Gosh. Yes.
No, it's good. Okay.
Yeah, so what do you think is the most meaningful thing that you have learned as a mentor and also as a PhD student in these 7 years?
Oh golly. I hate to sound reductive, but I think both answers can be summed up in you know more than you think you know. That's what I have to keep telling myself as a PhD student. Okay, so yeah, I've been here for 7 years, but I still feel like a brand new beginner. I still feel like a baby panda.
Baby panda.
You know how like
Do they not know much?
have you ever seen
They
a
are
video
so
of a
I've
baby panda?
never seen baby
They are
pandas.
like
Just like
so
kind
cute.
of fluffy and clueless and
Is that
just
how you
like
describe yourself?
that's how I describe myself.
Oh, that's so cute.
You're not clueless though.
Thank
You're
you.
doing a PhD for 7 years. That means you are in high ranking, dog.
See,
Yes.
see, so like other people see it, but I don't see it. So like, I gotta keep talking to people who
Yeah.
actually think that I know stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I have to redo a figure, gotta, you can think about it as, crap, I didn't do the figure right again. I'm really bad at making figures. Or this new draft of the figure has even less wrong with it than the previous draft did, and I'm getting better at this with each iteration. I know more than I think I know.
Yes.
This is representing data that I made and collected. This is representing my data.
Yeah.
I'm making it, even though I'm making it from scratch as a baby panda, it's still a graph that I'm making. I know more than I think I know.
Yeah.
And that little like brain shift has helped a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to communicate that to anybody that I'm mentoring also. It's okay to say, I don't know. And you know more than you think you know. My high school students have been nervous about like, what if somebody asked me this question about my research and I don't know it. And so I'm like, okay, well, here's some of the questions that they could ask you. And then they answer them all. Like, yeah, you know the answers to these things. You know more than you think you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really think that applies to a whole lot of different parts of life. Anywhere that you're trying to grow,
Yeah.
you know more than you think you know.
Yeah. I love that. That's the title of the
Yeah, more
episode.
than you think you know.
Yeah.
I think I know nothing.
You're a baby
I
panda
think that's
too.
super normal.
This is my 4th year, and sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't,
Baby pandas all around.
yeah, literally. I'm flopping around, dude. I don't know what's going on.
I think that you guys have so much in common, though. You are very active. You guys are leaders in the student community.
What are you, girl? You think you're not a leader?
Hey,
yeah.
I mean, I am, but I think
Yeah.
that you guys are more like, I don't know how to say, like more open. I don't know if open is the right
You're
word.
pretty
like,
open.
Yeah, accessible. I don't know, because when I look at you, they're like, oh, they look like cool people and smart people.
Thank you.
And I look
but
like
I look at you and I think the same thing. To be
Yeah.
quite honest, I think you're a very open person. To
Do
be
you
quite
think
honest,
so?
I really do. I think I could see that about.
You've made
honestly,
an entire
all of us.
hobby about communicating with people. Like, that's really insanely awesome.
Yeah, girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that
This
back.
is a-
I
yeah,
know
so-
more that I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I
And
know. I will.
If we're
Yeah,
talking
let's
timelines here,
do
you're
that,
both
yeah.
ahead of me. I
No.
didn't start like making friends in graduate school. I didn't start feeling even reasonably confident about my research until maybe year 5-ish.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, so you
Let's-
are already talking to people and doing stuff, and your year 5 is just starting. You're already
Yeah.
talking to people and doing stuff. I know you were year 1 because that's when I met you.
This is year. This is
No.
year 3 technically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, for me.
Yeah,
But like halfway through. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's super easy to just feel like a baby panda, where you
Okay.
are flopping around.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
When someone asks you, like right now, if I first time that we're meeting each other. So what's your name again? What do you do? How do you introduce yourself to others? Like I guess like how do you identify yourself in academia?
oh
Right,
my.
yeah.
Like do
That
you
is-
say, this is Uli and I am in Dao's lab? Or do you say, how do you introduce yourself? That's my question.
That is
Do
a
you
really
make-
fantastic
Do
question.
you make your
Right? Yeah.
research your personality? Or do you make your personality outside academia to
That's-
come before your research?
I try to put my personality
Yes,
first.
you are into it, girl. This is awesome.
That's a
love
really,
it.
really wonderful
Yeah.
question. You got to keep that. Like,
Because
ask that
the
to everybody.
identity
Okay.
of the scientist, is it just based on your research? Is it based on how much experience you have? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So how do you do it?
How, how do
introduce-
we do it?
How does
Generally,
everyone?
I try to keep my personality first. Just
Bars.
to remember that, like, I am worth more as a person than what my research actually is.
Yeah. I like that.
But the more practical answer is I introduce myself based on context. So, like, based on whoever's asking.
that's valid,
Like, I
yeah.
know my friend's mom was a teacher for her whole career, and so I tell her, like, oh, I'm in education. I do a lot of like work with high schoolers and mentor on after school program kind of stuff. And I talk to her about the education part. When I introduce myself to other aquatic scientists at the Aquatic Scientist Conference, I can be a lot more specific and say, like, I'm a sediment biogeochemist.
Yeah.
When I'm talking to other environmental scientists, I say I'm an aquatic scientist, like, or when I'm talking to other graduate students, I say I do environmental stuff,
Yeah.
I try to match it to whatever I think would be best for generating conversation with the person that I'm talking to.
That's a really eloquent and well put answer. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, because there's some people where I'm like, I'm just doing a PhD in biology. Done.
Yeah.
Because,
So sometimes
they
you
don't
need to
really
give the
know.
boring answer. It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Like, I'm a grad student at LSU.
No, but yeah, I think that when I am outside, I just say, yes, I'm a PhD student at LSU in biology. That's it. But then I agree with what you say. If other students ask me, it's when like, oh yeah, I actually do this and we work with this in Dr. Dao's lab. And one of the ideas for the podcast was that, like we know so many people here and we know which department they are and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know exactly what they're doing, the organism model or anything. So yeah, I think it's Dr. Dao asked that question. What's your personality? How do you identify yourself? But, yeah. Wow. Okay, if there is anyone who is interested in taking one class from your department and that you will be like, yes, go and take this class, you're going to learn and you're going to love it. Which class will you recommend and which professor? Or maybe just a class.
Maybe benthic ecology with Cassie Glaspie. It's the most fun to communicate about because it's about like cute little creatures. A lot of our other classes are, maybe physics-based, or, here's a model, here's chemistry, here's satellites, here's cells, things that
cool.
are fun in your brain, but maybe not so fun for your eyes. But benthic ecology, she has an aquarium with like a starfish in it and a barnacle, and you get to like watch the barnacle do its thing. And you take a, when I took the class, at least we took a field trip down to the coast and, grabbed some sediment from the marsh and like looked at the brittle stars inside. Like I don't know, that's I think the closest thing we have to what most people think that oceanography is like. It's what we in the biz call charismatic megafauna. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I love that. That's so cool.
Also, Cassie Gillespie is an awesome professor. She's very, very kind, very knowledgeable.
Nice. Yeah. Is she the most like influential to you, you'd say?
Oh, golly.
Or like who would be, I guess?
Oh, golly.
Like mentorship or teacher or otherwise?
I don't know if I can answer that. I mean, probably my advisor, because like we interact the most and he gives me the most feedback and stuff. But I mean, my other committee members are also really great, and I've gotten, wonderful advice and inspiration from each of them. Yes, I'd say probably my advisor is the most influential professor, if only because we spend the most time together.
For real. Sometimes I see my advisor more than I see like anybody else in my life. So.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you have any mentor outside academia?
Yes. Actually, no, she moved away recently. That's an excellent question.
Who was it? Who was the person you were referring to?
I am pretty religious, and so a woman at my church, we used to meet up pretty regularly, like weekly or so, and talk about life, talk about just growing as a person, and just catch up and stuff like that. And yeah, I would definitely call that a mentorship relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she did move away recently to live closer to her kids, which like, okay,
valid, but whatever.
Valid, but whatever. And yeah, I haven't like established that relationship with anybody new yet. But I feel like I might be like building a foundation with like one of my friend's moms or something. Maybe we'll see cautiously. I don't want to like make that assumption and be like, oh yes, she'll mentor me.
But and do you like? I think that you are the first person, like in the podcast, that expressed their religion. So, do you think that is difficult to keep your faith and be a really, I don't even
like
know
a
how to
scientist?
Yes,
a lot of people think that faith and science
can walk together.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that you think that yes, they can,
yes.
but how in your experience?
Yeah, I love this question. I think about this all the time.
Nice.
I'm so glad somebody finally asked me.
It's your time to shine.
Yes.
I honestly don't see what the conflict is. Does understanding something make it any less miraculous?
Yeah. For real.
Think of a person that you love. Does getting to know them, every new thing that you learn about that person, does that make you love them less or more? So everything that I learn about how the world works makes me more in awe of how awesome the world is.
Yeah.
And like, and like, I don't know, just because I'm, maybe one step closer to understanding how the world came to be, doesn't mean I'm any less in awe of the one who created it. Yeah.
Who did the quote about like God being like a mathematician?
Absolutely.
Who did that? It's a quote like he must have been an amazing mathematician, because all of this is like,
is God a man or a woman?
Both, neither. I think if we're talking about human identity, whatever. I mean, from my Protestant Christian perspective,
Yes.
Humans were created in the image of God. That's like literally the quote from the Bible. The literal quote is, male and female, he created them in his own image, right? So I believe that means that both maleness and femaleness represents qualities that God has. And also, I would hate to think that he, omniscient, all loving, all knowing, whatever, God would be any less able to relate to half of his creation or not.
Yeah,
for
real.
Like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think pronouns are kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think of it more like which is more part of the tree, this branch or that branch.
Right. It's like, well, they're both the tree, so
Yeah.
why are we even talking about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're both humans, like both male and female, both humans.
Yeah,
Any non-binary gender, also human.
Right, exactly.
How, in your experience, just thinking about religion and science together, how do you navigate this in your lab? Like, you as a scientist and also very religious person, how open are you saying, this is my faith? Do you think this is appropriate to talk about your religion in a lab meeting? Or I'm just curious about how, I don't know.
I understand.
Yeah.
I don't bring it up because I know that Christians get a really bad rap for bringing it up, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. I would, if my goal were to change people's minds, which I'm putting air quotes here, right? I would prefer to change people's minds based on my actions and my behavior more than my words.
Yeah.
So my lab is very multicultural. We have a whole lot of international students, mostly from India, Bangladesh, and China, I think, are our main representations. And so we also have a lot of different religions represented. We've had I can't even name them all. We've had a lot of different. Recently we've started during lab meetings around a big holiday for a religion like Ramadan. One of our Islamic students actually gave us a presentation what is Ramadan? What do we do? It was so cool, right?
Yeah.
And so if anybody was interested in what is Easter? Or can you tell me more about what Christian culture is happening right now? I'd be happy to talk about it. But I'm definitely not going to I'm not going to raise my hand during the Ramadan talk and be like, well, have you heard about Easter? No, I'm here to learn about you. So in general, I think listening is more important than speaking.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Just thinking about, because I know that some people, they are very open, but then I think that, I totally agree with you. If you want to show or share with other people about your religion, your actions should speak louder than you actually say, and this religion and the other, it's just interesting. Thank you.
Or to summarize, maybe it's not a secret. I'll never say no. I'll never hide it. But also, just because I am thinking about religion in the way that I, speak to people, the way that, I'm thinking about God's love and Jesus as I'm relating to, as I'm handing the pipette to my lab mate. I'm not going to say, I'm thinking about that, right? But I'm not going to be in the name of Jesus, have this pipette. Right?
Yeah, because that's not that's just not useful. Nobody's gaining anything from it, but it's there, and you don't even have to say it in your head like that. You just know that. That's really cool, and it's very. Believe it or not, it's very hard to keep religion in science because I know probably a lot of people, if I mentioned I was like religious, they'd probably think of me a lot like I feel like it's a given where like especially in biology, a lot of people kind of look down on people for having specifically like a Christian value. Like if you're American and you're Christian and you're studying biology, there's such like a divide specifically with like American nationalist Christians that
it goes the other way too.
Putting down
like if you're like if you're in a Christian space and you mention that you're a scientist, they're like, oh, I bet you believe in evolution. Yes, I believe in evolution.
Yes, I believe in
like,
evolution.
What?
Yeah. It's so I think it goes both ways, and especially in
so
America, Christians in America are very.
It's so weird.
Some spaces don't feel safe for scientists. They're very passionate, and some spaces in science don't really allow for a lot of religion either. So. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing.
How open are you on social media? How much do you share? Do you share a lot about your personal life, or do you share more about your science, or do you share zero information?
I share zero things on social media.
That's valid.
Yeah.
So functionally for me, social media is to maybe like share with one side of my family pictures of a vacation that I took with the other side of the family.
Right.
And also to keep up with like which band just dropped a new album or is going to, come to the United States soon that I want to go see in concert.
Right.
Like I'm keeping up with artist news, and I'm literally sharing personal photos with somebody who is personally related to them. That's it.
That's valid. That's cool. I like it.
I don't have the energy to do anything else.
That's really nice. Yeah. I mentioned, I think on this podcast that I delete Instagram and re-download it, I think like every other week.
That is awesome.
If not every other day. So
you have like a love-hate relationship.
I have a love-hate relationship with it.
I am on the same, to be honest, but now with the podcast, because we have like a profile for Research Flow podcast. I use it, but I don't like in my personal. I have just pictures of my trips, and I was looking at it yesterday. And last year I posted one picture.
I think I posted one picture last year too. That sounds about right.
Sometimes I feel like I want to share more than what I do because I have amazing friends and I think a lot of cool stuff. But then it's like, do you ask your friends, can I post this? Or do you just post a picture?
If it matters how much I know them. Like if I just kind of know, I've hung out with somebody twice and we took pictures, I'll probably send it to them and be like, can I post this? But if I wanted to post a picture with you or you, I would probably just post it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I know that you won't be like angry. Because some people care about their image, and I don't want to, if that's their deal, that's their deal.
We are in a podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Are you ready to read?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So our third segment, we will have a Reddit story. It's a need advice column from the r/PhD. This is from OK-Lee2992. Okay, they are a second-year PhD in STEM in the U.S. How well should I be doing? Hi, everyone. I could use some advice on what goals I should aim to achieve by the end of the year, by the second year of a PhD. I ended this program without a clear idea of what to expect, and while I believe I have the necessary skills, I often feel blindsided by the culture of PhD life. My work is on computational medicine, omics, and imaging. Last month, I presented at a workshop in our field, and I was the only PhD student among established associate professors and physicians. It was nerve-wracking, to say the least. After looking up the presenters, I saw their incredibly impressive resumes, and it got me thinking, what's the best way to build an academic profile that gets significant citations? I also struggle a lot with networking, which I know is a major factor in academia. Any tips on how to improve networking skills and build meaningful connections would be greatly appreciated as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of...
I feel like this person is saying exactly what I've heard every other graduate student ever say.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm behind. Comparing myself to more established people is really impossible. Networking is so scary. I love the phrasing of their title. How well should I be doing? Okay, let me say, you know more than you think you know.
And that
I am 100%
it.
serious. I have also been in that room where I was the only graduate student in a room full of professionals. I was also the only woman. And somehow they still listened to what I was saying.
crazy.
It was really weird. But like, give yourself some credit. Like, if you believe that what you're saying is worth listening to, they will also believe that what you're saying is worth listening to. Networking is really hard. I hate mingling. I hate like those like cocktail hours where you like go stand around small tables and hold like tiny cheeses in your hand. That just makes me so uncomfortable. I cannot do that. Which crippled me for a couple years. I was like, what? I can't network if I can't do the thing that is supposed to be networking.
Well,
but
I think everybody hates that. Like, it's just
I've never
horrible.
been
You
to
don't
a
know
bar.
anyone. Like,
that is not the only way to go about it, though. Take the introvert's approach. Pick one thing, like do one extracurricular, environment tours, or something like that. Find one thing, devote yourself to it, or like commit to it, and let yourself make friends. Let yourself get to know the leadership. Let yourself get to know the faculty that are related to that program or whatever, and you will naturally develop a network through that thing. Seriously, Issa and I met standing in a lobby waiting for a carpool 3 years ago. Waiting.
is that how it happened?
Yes, we were waiting for the van to take us to a high school that we'd never been to before, and we were trying to figure out how to talk about it, how to talk with each other, and and here we are 3 years later. I have an excellent friend who invited me to be on a podcast.
Oh, what is it then? The new one? Okay.
I know this one's the new one.
No.
There's also, like,
that one. Is
that
the
one.
new one. Okay.
Yeah.
You kids. In your hearts and stuff. I learned my undergrad showed me diva, like, oh, these divas.
How?
Like
what?
like okay, like, you know how you say like, oh, girl, it's like, oh, diva. You know what I
Oh, that
mean?
is diva?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's like
Let's
diva.
try.
Girl diva?
It's like, okay, diva, like okay, this diva, right? And like me talking about, like, she was talking about our model system. She was like, these divas can survive in high salt, you know, like that kind of
Ooh,
stuff.
This Barbie does science.
This
Barbie can be whatever she wants.
Yeah, Barbie can be a diva.
This is
Barbie
awesome.
is a diva.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really good. Yeah.
Yep.
That was, you hit the nail on the head, I think.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people feel that way in PhDs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think
Also-
that we can tie this to. I think it's very common for everyone, especially during the first year and second year, to be comparing yourself to others. It's like, oh my gosh, how is this possible? This person knows more about me. And I think that I shared this story before in the podcast in another episode. I was taking this class with Brett Elder, quantitative ecology. And I was like, my friend Ifon, Garima, and I sitting there, first year PhD students. And we were like, what are we doing here? Like, I was about to cry. I was like, I don't know what to do. English is my second language. I don't know. Should I pay attention to what he's saying? Should I code at the same time? I didn't know what to do. And then, of course, the professor, they can see the struggle in our faces, right? So he came to talk to us, and he was like, stop comparing yourself to these and other students. They are 4-year PhD students. This is your first semester. You guys are doing good. You don't need to compare to anyone. And I was like, yeah, I know. And you know that you're not supposed to be comparing to anyone else, but still you do.
You do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You do it. So I think that this person is doing just fine.
probably, yeah.
And yeah, like, you made it to the second year, so just keep going.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first year is the hardest.
Yeah.
So if you're still standing, way to go.
Fantastic.
To be honest, I feel like this semester I feel comfortable now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable now. I
Yeah.
think that the way that I carry myself around, the way that my brain is a little bit more, a little bit more relaxed. I still need to improve a lot, but I think that I feel now that I am in the right path, with the right guidance, with the
That's
right
awesome.
friends, with the right people around me, with the right co-host, with the right guests.
Congratulations.
Everything is going good. Of
Yeah.
course,
That is so wonderful.
I will
Yeah.
have really bad days in the future.
Yes.
I know that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, I'm waiting for those days because I know that I am going to do just
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I led a journal club for my lab today.
Oh,
And it's where we read a paper and then we discuss it, and I presented it, and I couldn't tell her what a nonsense mutation is, and I stalled, and it was really nice because my advisor looked at me, she's like, I know you can do better than this, but it wasn't like a dig or anything, it was just like, I know that you're super skilled
yeah.
and that this is not like a reflection of who you are. And I was like, man, that's awesome that you think that. But I
That's
still
one of the
you
best things you can hear from a
need.
mentor.
yeah, exactly. Because like you can still fall down, and they're like, "This isn't like you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can get yourself back up, and then
Yeah.
like I know you can do better. And it's not
Just
like
because you're on the ground right now doesn't mean you've lowered the bar.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, whenever she said that, I was like, "Yep, I know nothing. This is how it is." You know what I mean? So even like as like a third, I've been doing this for what 3 years
Yeah.
now. That's a long time, and I still don't know what the heck's going on. So yeah, if you're in your first year and I don't think this person was like comparing
year?
themselves to. This person was in their
Like-
second year.
Yeah. mhm.
Okay, was it? She was. They were comparing themselves to like assistant professors.
Yeah,
Right?
that's, I
Bruh.
would never do that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Come on.
Never
What
ever
is
in my
wrong with you?
life. Yeah, my advisor.
Drop out. It's not for you, I'm just kidding. No, how can you compare? Like,
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
never know even without
That's like years and years and years.
decades most of the
Decades,
time.
exactly. So
Yeah.
Think about this in terms of like ecosystems. If you're into green stuff, right? So
Yeah.
like a fresh garden that you've planted 3 things in 2 months ago, you're gonna have 3 cute little sprouts in it,
yeah.
and the rest is gonna be kind of bare. But a garden that's been growing for somebody's entire career, a garden that's been cultivated, that's
multiple
had
years.
many things.
Taking care of.
Yeah.
They have different ecological succession levels. They have all these
Yeah.
different niches filled with, they have pollinators, they have caterpillars.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Their soil has different qualities and textures and stuff. Like,
And probably they also in some period they have like invasive species. They have a lot of
Yeah.
things that they have to remove and all
Very-
that.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. That could be like self doubt. That could be.
Yeah.
Wow. This is an awesome metaphor.
Thank you.
I love that. Yeah.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Look at me accepting a compliment instead of trying to brush it off.
Yeah.
This
I
is
think
a-
we all grew today. You know,
This is a new beginning.
we know more than we think we know.
We actually do, diva.
Diva.
Wait,
Yes. All the things that we did. I like this one. It's like
it's so cute and
it's,
simple.
it's not
That
complicated.
one is so difficult. It's always taking me.
It's-
I don't
yeah.
even know. Anyways, but
Yeah.
Anyways.
but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Hannah.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me, for listening to me prattle on and on. Thank you for your wonderful questions, your beautiful insight, and thanks for your meaningful work.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about what you're doing.
Oh shucks.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
your meaningful insight. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of deep, but I love it. So.
Me too.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being with us in this amazing episode with Hannah. We learned a lot about the ocean, about the ecosystem, about mentoring, about being a mentee, about being a PhD. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about new slang, diva. And yeah, we have a fun time. So see you next week, and hope you guys found this episode meaningful and you got to laugh and just enjoy the moment with us. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.